Hi, it's time to take two with Therese. I'm here for Altenew and I'm having some fun with the new metallic watercolors and the gradient cardstocks. And I thought I'd make two cards using both of these today. They're a bit similar but different. I've got the shades of purple and using the darkest colour from the set, and I also decided to use one of the seashores, one of the blue greens. This is absolutely beautiful, all these colours, and initially I was going to go for a darker colour but decided on the second lightest one instead. I thought it'd be fun to add some painted stripes to my background, and these metallic paints, watercolours, really shine, pardon the pun, on dark cardstock. So on the purple cardstock I decided to use the silver colour and then a gold on the green blue one. Now the one thing that you do need to note about these cardstocks from Altenew, apart from the fact that they're really beautiful colours and match perfectly, is that they are all different weights. And this cardstock here, the one that I'm painting on in particular, is quite a lightweight cardstock. I'm going to show you how to fix up the warping very soon. So the gold colour that I'm doing here I thought looked really pretty on this blue-green. I tend to use the golds more than the silvers, so I thought it'd be nice just to kind of mix up both of these and have a bit of a go of each. And because they're watercolors and I'm not adding a stack of water, this cardstock, it does tolerate it. It doesn't pill at all. And once I'd done my stripes, I did set it aside to dry while I coloured up my flowers. So I have stamped out a couple of different flowers today on some Bristol Smooth cardstock and used the Obsidian black ink. Now I do like to let this ink dry for a little while before I start colouring, just to make sure that there's no sort of smudging or bleeding of the ink, and it always gives such a nice dark crisp impression. I'm using the watercolor brush markers from Altenew, and here I hadn't actually used this colour very much, and I found that this particular light green, it just wasn't letting out enough colour for me, so I did have to squeeze the barrel a little bit. And here I'm trying to get rid of the sharp edges. I want the darker colour to be towards the centre of the petal, which is, I like to paint one petal at a time. But what I actually did in the end here is come in with my water brush and I just dipped it in some water and then came across the top and actually blended out those sharp edges, and that worked really well. And I didn't have any problems with the paper pilling. Even though the Bristol Smooth is not a watercolour cardstock, it actually tolerates water really well. So I just did this on all the petals. I actually blended each one out as I went along because it doesn't reactivate very well once it's dried, so it's just safer to do smaller areas at a time. And this colour is so pretty. I did come in with the gold paint after the greens had dried and actually painted the centre of the flower and the stamen tips as well. My second flower, or that first flower was from the Grateful Heart stamp set, and this second flower is from the newer, it's the Poppy Garden stamp set, and this is a really pretty set. It's not a layering one, this one has lots of really beautiful shaped open poppy style flowers, and this is one of the smaller flowers from the set. It has a couple of really big flowers in it, which is awesome. They're awesome to use on a card, and I have got another card that I have done using that, and I will try and remember to link that here. But I wasn't really happy with the colour of purple that was coming out. I will link all the colours that I've used. I will write them down at the blog as well, so you can head through the description below to find that. But how I got around that was I actually came in and added some blue, and this is the Desert Night colour, and then I can just, if I wasn't happy with the depth of a colour, I can just pat it away with a paper towel and then come in with the colour, and I just kept mixing it on the cardstock till I was happy. And or I used the water brush as well. And one of the great things about these water brushes is they have a really fine tip on them, and they are a brush, so I could easily come in and paint the stem of this flower with no problems at all. Now this is what I meant. Look at that. It's seriously warped. The green one held up a lot better because it's a lot thicker cardstock. But here's how I fixed it. So I've got 2 sheets of copy paper and I've folded them in half, so they're about an A5 size now, so they're going to fit through my die cutting machine. And I did actually run it through my Gemini Junior twice, and that's nearly straight now. It's awesome. But then I want to pop this up on the front of the card. So I've got a piece of just scrap white cardstock, and I've added adhesive over the whole front of the card so that I can adhere it down. And you'd never know. And I did do that. I did cut them both down and did that for both of my panels, my striped panels. So with the gold paint, I did have to come in and add some details, and I simply did that with the Copic multi-liner on those stamens there. And I used the coordinating dies for both of my floral images to cut them out. Alright, so on my green card, one of my favourite sentiment dies, you may have noticed, I have used it before. It's the Fancy Hello, and I've cut it out a couple of times in some jet black cardstock. And I'm layering this up. Now I don't want it to be a whole solid layer on the card, I do want it to have sort of that gap underneath. So I've laid it up twice just to give it some stability, and used the just some liquid glue to adhere that together. And then I've added some score tape and some fun foam behind my stripe panel and popped that up on the center of a top fold vertical card. Top fold? Yeah, top fold card. That's all. Don't need to say anything else, do I? Added some foam squares behind my flower, and also some black foam pieces just cut really small behind the word hello. And I'm finding it really hard not to put this sentiment on all of my cards at the moment. Consider yourself lucky that you're not just seeing this on everything. Well, I do like it though. I did add some jewels to the front of the card as well and scattered those about. So on my second card design, I've actually grabbed out for my sentiment one of the other pieces. Oh, getting rid of the black cat fur. Oh, my cat had just been up on the desk annoying me. Well, smooching, really. And she's losing a lot of fur at the moment. We're coming into summer. So anyway, I've got the lightest purple here, and I've added a sentiment. This is from the Wavy Roses stamp set. Used the embossing ink and some antique silver embossing powder. Now this is a fairly solid cardstock, but I still wanted to pop it up off the front, so to add some extra strength, I've done the same thing again. I've just cut a little piece of white cardstock and attached that to the front. This time I've got a side fold landscape card, and I'm popping up my sentiment as well as my flower. This card I actually added some droplets on the front of the card as well. And I will link everything at the blog. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up to let us know that you do like it. If you haven't already, it'd be awesome if you could subscribe to this channel. There's always heaps of inspiration here, and I look forward to seeing you here again real soon. Till then, bye.